And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country. My story tonight takes place upon a mountaintop in Nevada, Sun Mountain, highest peak in the Washoe Range. The mountain on which the famous mining camp of Virginia City is located. I call the story The Light on the Mountain. It is the early 1860s. News of the war between the states reaches Washoe by Pony Express, and ardent Unionists are running up the Stars and Stripes to show where their allegiance lies. 35 stars there were in Old Glory at that time.
God willing, there'll soon be 36. We've got to do more than just wish to be a state. We've got to prove to those fellas in Washington that we're fit to be a state. Our law courts are a farce.
You're right there, sir. Argument settled with whiskey bottles. Jurors picked because they're fat or thin.
And the judges sit there and laugh. Now, the way things are run now, nobody trusts us to become a state. Storm brewing. Clouds been piling up all day.
Well, why don't we take some action? Make an appeal to the president. Ask him to remove these judges, Turner, North, and Locke.
I'm afraid President Lincoln's got enough on his mind already with this war. We'll have to do our own house cleaning.
The attorney for the defense tried to catch the eyes of the jury, but he couldn't. All 12 of them were cross-eyed.
Aren't our courts crooked enough as it is without dragging in men who can't see straight?
I resent your implication, sir.
It ill behooves a lawyer who makes an excellent living trying cases in these courts.
Trying them before judges who have bought their places on the bench.
To whom do you refer, Mr. Stewart?
The so-called justice who's presiding over the suit between the Savage and Potosi mines.
Be careful what you say, Mr. Stewart.
Time some fresh air blue on all this stink.
Just because the case is going against your company, Mr. Corey.
And we know why.
The flag! The flag's on fire! Lightning must have struck it!
Oh, my wallet. You go ahead.
Did you think over my proposition?
Yep, I'll take it.
I'll have the money for you tonight. Meet me behind the church.
I'll be there.
It's not burning, it's just a reflection. I've never seen anything like that before. Look at it now.
Kind of gives me a creepy feeling.
It's an omen. The Union is going to be destroyed.
No, it's God speaking, as he did through the fire on Mount Sinai, telling us to have courage, fight the good fight, uphold our country in its hour of need. And by the powers, we will.
Hello, Will. Mr. Corey.
Hello, Annie.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Stewart.
Did you ever see such a sight? Sabina and I were just on our way shopping, and... Oh, may I present Mr. Richard Corey, Miss Harris.
How do you do, Miss Harris?
Mr. Corey, Miss Harris is from my hometown in Mississippi. She's paying us a visit.
I hope you enjoyed the fireworks, in your honor.
Do you stage a display for every guest?
No, only very beautiful young ladies.
Well, I must say I was most certainly impressed. Well, I was more than impressed. I was just plain scared. Well, I guess we better get on with our shopping. I'll see you at home later, dear.
Bye, Miss Harris.
Mr. Corey. What a strange spectacle that was.
Maybe the Union is going to be destroyed.
God forbid.
Annie, you a Southerner?
Family can't be divided, honey. Will is heart and soul for the Union cause.
That wouldn't make any difference to me.
You're not married, Sabina, to a man you love.
No. Who is Mr. Corey?
The mining engineer for the Savage Company. They're the ones Will's representing in this big lawsuit.
He's quite nice looking.
He's the most eligible bachelor in Washoe.
Oh, a bachelor.
I'll ask him to dinner tonight. I'll leave a message for him at his office.
I can't understand it. Corey's always very punctual. Darling, are you sure that you...
Perfectly sure, dear. I wrote the message down and distinctly said 7 o'clock.
It's now nearly 8.
Back home, a gentleman would let you know if he was going to be an hour late. He'd send word by a body servant.
Young men don't have body servants here in Nevada.
Or very good manners, either. Keeping ladies waiting.
This really isn't like Richard at all.
Well, I'm going to have another glass of sherry. If he hasn't showed up by that time, I say we go ahead and eat.
Billy! 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 Here I am, Judge.
Here it is.
8 packages. You have their names.
I ought to. I swore 'em in.
The 9th one's for the witness.
What's that?
Sexton. See if they get them tonight.
Oh, Annie, you embroider so beautifully. Thank you, dear.
Well, the late Mr. Corey.
I apologize, Mrs. Stewart, for my seeming rudeness.
Well, we were afraid something had happened to you.
Well, I was detained. Circumstances beyond my control.
Well, you missed a good dinner.
I'd like to speak to you, sir, if I may. It's urgent.
Oh, why, certainly. You ladies mind leaving us alone?
Come along, Sabina.
Miss Harris, I'm terribly sorry about this evening. I do hope you'll forgive me.
There's nothing to forgive.
Perhaps you'll let me make amends by escorting you to the territorial ball tomorrow night.
May I reserve my answer?
Of course.
Now, don't you keep my husband up all night talking. Remember, he has to be in court in the morning.
I promise.
Well, what's on your mind?
I think we've got the goods on Judge North.
What do you mean?
He's bribing the jury. 8 of them. And a chief witness.
Who told you?
I saw him pass the money. Just now in back of the church. To Billy Brown.
Billy Brown. The bailiff?
Yep.
Now, let me get this straight.
I overheard North in the saloon this afternoon arranging a rendezvous with Brown. I went there. Heard the whole thing.
8 jurors, you say?
Yes. I don't know which ones, though, or how much.
That's what we've got to find out. I knew North was crooked as a dog's hind leg, and this is our chance to prove it. We'll get Brown to sign a confession.
Confession?
If he'll sell out to one person, he'll sell out to another.
Except for one thing. He might be afraid of what they'll do to him if he talks.
Yeah. What's the fastest horse in Washoe?
Why, Bluebonnet, I suppose. He's won all the big purses.
Buy him for me. Don't worry about price. The important thing is to get him as soon as possible.
I don't understand.
Well, Brown was a jockey, wasn't he?
Yes, till he got kicked out of racing circles for fixing so many races.
Well, I need that horse to get his confession.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated.
You are mining expert, Mr. Jackson?
I am.
And you have testified in court before on mining questions?
I have.
You have inspected the property under contention in this case? Yes, sir. In your opinion, are the two claims part of the same ore body?
No, sir. I've had a tunnel run between the two. All you have to do is walk through it.
I have walked through it.
What did you see?
A 20-foot granite strip separating them.
That's a lie, and you know it.
Order in the court.
Quiet, order in the court, please.
The witness has testified in his expert opinion that the two claims are quite separate ore bodies. Is there any further evidence you wish to submit?
That's all, Your Honor.
The court declares a 10-minute recess.
Of all the barefaced perjury. Those crooks will stop at nothing.
What about that racehorse?
I bought him. He didn't come cheap.
We'll have him at my house early this evening, saddled and bridled.
Yes, sir.
I'm going over and speak to Will for a moment. I'll step out for a breath of fresh air.
Should be the Confederate flag flying up there. You're Miss Harris.
Yes.
Allow me to introduce myself. James Locke, a fellow Southerner.
How did you know?
An expression on your face just now of homesickness?
Oh, I'm enjoying Nevada. Of course, it's different.
We're doing our best to civilize it. I and my colleagues of the Supreme Court. I'm a judge and lawyer.
Well, then I'm sure the job will be well done, sir.
Thank you. Miss Harris, would you do me the honor to be my partner at the territorial ball tonight?
Why,
Unless you've already promised someone else.
no. I shall be delighted.
Then I may call for you?
The Stewart's carriage will be going in any case. Why don't I meet you at the ball?
I shall count the hours.
Miss Harris, I was afraid you'd left.
Oh, really?
When am I going to have my answer about tonight?
Oh, the ball. I'm sorry, Mr. Corey, but I've accepted the invitation of Judge Locke.
Judge Locke?
He's from the South.
You can't go with that fellow.
And why not, pray?
Because it's him and his associates that we're trying to get rid of in Nevada.
Because their sympathies are different from yours.
Because they're corrupt. Because they're giving the territory a bad reputation. Preventing us from becoming a state.
Of the Union?
Yes.
Well, good for them.
But you don't understand. They're crooks.
On the Supreme Court bench. Really, Mr. Corey.
Please, Miss
I feel
Harrison.
you're letting your personal feelings get the better of you.
Order in the court.
I'm sorry you're not coming to the ball with us, Will.
Business is business, darling. I'll join you later.
How much later?
Just as soon as I've seen this man who's coming here. Oh, that must be him now. It won't take too long, I hope.
Oh, excuse me.
Come right in, Mr. Brown.
I got your message. You said you had something you wanted to give me?
I have. Some money.
What for?
Services rendered,
I done nothing for you.
but you're about to. I want the names of those 8 jurors that Judge North bribed, and the amount paid.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Also the amount paid the witness who testified today.
Look, you're barking up the wrong tree, Mr. Stewart. I'm just the bailiff.
You give me this information, and I'll pay you as much as the total sum paid out. $9, $10, $12,000. Or, Was it more than that?
I got no idea.
Come off it, Billy. I haven't got all night to waste. We know you acted as intermediary. You were overheard and seen. Now you're going to tell me what I want to know, aren't you? It's your chance to make a tidy little fortune.
A lot of good that would do me if I was found out. My life wouldn't be worth a nickel.
Come over here to the window. Look out there, by the stable. What do you see?
A horse.
Recognize him?
Blue Bonnet.
Trust a jockey. If you were on that horse, do you think that anyone could catch you?
Not on your life.
All right. Now you give me the facts I'm asking for, in writing, over your signature. And I'll not only pay you the amount promised, but present you with that racehorse for your getaway.
Sold.
Don't you miss the South?
There are compensations in the knowledge that I am helping to establish law and order in a pioneer country.
I think that's mighty wonderful of you.
Noblesse oblige. Suppose we sit out the rest of this dance, so we can talk? If we were back home now, this would be a garden.
With a mockingbird.
And the smell of Cape jasmine.
Yes. Oh, it's so wonderful to find someone here who understands.
Mrs. Stewart is a Southerner.
Of course, but her being married to Mr. Stewart has made a difference.
I can believe that. By the way, where is he tonight?
Oh, he's coming later. He was detained by a caller.
I can guess by who. Mr. Corey.
No, someone named Brown.
Brown? Tall, gray-haired gentleman.
No, short and dark. He was in court today.
And he came to call on Mr. Stewart?
Oh, not socially. It was business.
Miss Sabina, will you excuse me? I just remembered something I have to tell Judge North and Judge Turner.
When he comes out, grab him.
He blabbed to Stewart. Won't leave here alive.
Quiet.
Good night.
Good night.
What'd you talk to Stewart about?
He just wanted to ask me something.
So you sold us out.
Saddle some horses, quick, up!
It's no use. He's already halfway down the mountain.
The witnesses in this case have been examined, and the evidence is all in. The jury will therefore retire to decide upon a verdict.
Just a minute, Your Honor. Where is the bailiff?
The bailiff was called out of town unexpectedly, Mr. Corey.
He's responsible for the jury, isn't he?
His presence is not necessary.
Not necessary, but Your Honor, I think...
Judge is quite right, Mr. Corey. Especially as the bailiff left memorandum that covers everything. The names of 8 jurors who were bribed. And the amount paid to each. The amount paid the so-called expert mining witness for his false testimony. All down in black and white. A total of $14,000. From the pocket of none other than the man presiding over this court, Judge North.
That's a lie.
You mean to deny it, North, when it's right here on this paper, signed by Billy Brown, the man who acted as your go-between? Hold on, boys. There's another way to get rid of him. Judge North, you've been flagrantly false to your duty. I demand your resignation.
I resign.
Judge Turner?
Don't you threaten me, Bill Stewart. I'll have your name struck from the bar.
I guess I failed to mention that Billy Brown's confession also names you, Judge Turner. And also Judge Locke. Do you resign? Or am I swearing out a warrant for your arrest? And yours.
I resign.
And I.
Get it in writing. Make it official.
I'll make it official. Take them over to the telegraph office, boys. They're wiring their resignations direct to President Lincoln.
Come on, I don't want to miss this.
You will find your bags packed and on that Surrey, gentlemen. With judicial persistence, you should reach Carson City by dark. And with considerable more comfort than riding on a rail. We will be very happy to bring the Surrey back from Carson City at our expense.
Yeah, we'll charge it to the street cleaning department.
Well, that's that.
What next?
I'm going to draw up a state constitution. Maybe now that our courts are cleansed, we'll be regarded with more favor.
Darling, I'm so proud of you.
Well, I don't deserve all the credit. If it hadn't been for Corey...
I wonder if you'll excuse me. I have an errand to take care of.
Well, what's the matter with him?
Annie?
Yes, dear.
I'm going home.
Why, Sabina, you've hardly had any visit at all yet.
I should never have come. I've made such a terrible fool of myself.
Now, honey.
Going to the ball with that dreadful Judge Locke. Betraying secrets to him.
Why, you didn't know what kind of a man he was?
Mr. Corey warned me.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Corey's forgiven you.
But he hasn't. He hasn't been near me since that day. He hates and despises me. I know he does.
Oh, nonsense. He's just been busy helping Will with the state constitution business.
But that's all done and approved.
And they're sending it to Washington.
By Pony Express?
They can't wait that long. They're telegraphing it, the full text.
$3,416.77 to send that by telegraph.
The biggest toll that's ever been paid for a single dispatch. But it's worth it. I know that this very day will be in the hands of President Lincoln.
Now all we have to do is wait for his answer. Will Nevada be admitted, or won't she?
I wish I knew. The 31st of October. Election day less than a week off. Still no word from Washington.
Will! Will! It's come! It's come!
Read it.
The pain is over. The child is born. Nevada was this day admitted into the Union.
All right, boys, now get ready with those musical instruments. The minute the flag runs up, fire that cannon.
Say, there are only 35 stars.
That's right. We've got to have 36. Has anybody got something we can use for a star?
How about the sheriff's badge? Where's the sheriff?
Use this.
Sabina.
Please.
Thank you. Well, here she goes.
The true story of Nevada's entrance into the Union of the United States.